So yeah, I wanted to get started in finishing this because this was long, and I wanted to get as much information as I can and content out of it. But I was pretty tired last night, so um, just want to get started. So let's watch it again.
Are back with a new must-see documentary. It's called Thank You, Dr. Fauci. And you're going to hear a lot more about it
Oh
over the
yeah,
next few
Fauci's a
months.
piece of
Award-winning
shit, so
filmmaker.
not a
But
fan.
first, digs into the origins
I can't wait to see
of
that.
COVID-19, a
That
possible
would be a good one.
arms race with China, and claims about history's biggest public health cover-up. It's not a right-wing film or a left-wing film. It's a film about transparency, which is something we should all care about. First, pulls over documents and interrogates scientists, intelligence professionals, and whistleblowers. It's being described as Oppenheimer meets Outbreak. And if you've ever wondered what really happens behind closed doors, you'll want to see it.
Yeah,
Studios
definitely.
Is powered by its guild members voting on real stories. You can find out more at angel.com/peers. Become a member.
I think I heard about that.
Thank you, Dr. Fauci, and be part of a conversation.
Thank you, Dr. Fauci.
And accountability.
And it's crazy that fucker is, he was pardoned too.
Okay, back with Nick Fuentes. Let's just turn to anti-Semitism. In your interview with Stephen Crowder last week, you answered emphatically that you don't hate all Jews. Is that correct? That's your position?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to play you this clip.
Well, I don't hate any Jews. Let me just amend that. I don't hate any Jews.
Okay. Let's play this clip.
The reason I've had it is because my opposition to world Jewry and Israel is rooted in absolute, uncontestable fact. We have the truth on our side. That's why we're winning. Because we are telling the truth about the historical antagonism between Jews and Europeans, between Jews and Christians. The theological, historical, racial, cultural, and political antagonisms between organized Jewry and the Christians, organized Jewry and Europeans. And the reason that we are winning that argument is because it's real. It's true.
This is Nick Fuentes. He's baby Pierce. No, actually quite the opposite. He's like the more hardcore, like he's the more radical version of like Charlie Kirk. So like he makes Charlie Kirk look really, really nice, basically. Which Charlie Kirk is actually very nice. Like, yeah, Nick Fuentes. Yeah, this guy is like, dude, he's pretty wild. But honestly, you can say that, you know, a lot of things you can think about. The one thing is that he's not wrong. Dial's Ice, dude, he's a huge Ice supporter. Like, he's very, very like super deport all illegals kind of thing. So like, yeah, if you thought Charlie Kirk was bad, man, this is like another level. So basically, like Pierce Morgan is kind of like, you know, trying to race bait him kind of thing. All right, let's watch it.
I can prove it. I can show you. I can name the names. I can show you the paper trail, the money. That is why we're winning. That is why all of this is raising the consciousness.
When you say you have this opposition to world Jewry, I mean, it's one thing.
Yeah, with the juice and everything, like when he's talking about the juice, and he's not. Well, he didn't say anything about hating them, really.
To criticize,
at least that's what I
the
heard
Israeli
from
government over what it's been doing in Gaza. I've done that myself. When you talk about world Jewry, I presume you're talking about the 15 million Jews in the world, and you are opposed to them. How does that square with your position that you don't hate any Jews?
Well, do you take issue with my
Well, he
use
never
of the
said
term
hate.
world Jewry?
Well, what do you mean by that?
Or do you take issue with it? Do you have a problem with that?
Clarify what you mean by it.
Do you have a problem with it?
Well, it's funny you bring that up. The gaslighting's crazy because I use that expression on my show all the time. I say organized Jewry, world Jewry. And do you know that for like 30 years, the World Jewish Congress has an annual keynote called the State of World Jewry? Barry Weiss has given it.
Wow.
You can look it up. It's on YouTube. She gives the State of World Jewry address.
But Nick, what do you mean by it?
I mean, you have to talk about, you know, there's a concept of Jewish peoplehood. It's the sense that they are part of a common nationality, a common tribe, a common people. And so where they reside in Israel, the United States or Europe or elsewhere, they see each other above or maybe on a different level alongside their nationality, their their state, wherever they reside. If they're in Germany, France, the United States, they see themselves as part of a transnational nation, of an international nation. The Jews in America, the Jews in Israel, they identify as Israeli or American, but they also have something in common. They identify as part of a common nation, which I would say there's a world Jewish population. It's world Jewry. And world Jewry has representatives. There is such a thing as the World Jewish Congress, where they actually elect, it's democratic, all the local Jewish organizations elect representatives to represent proportionally the Jewish population in their area at the World Jewish Congress. And it's sort of like Davos. It's like the World Economic Forum, but it's exclusively for members of the Jewish nation that exists across the world. And so that's a real thing. And I didn't make that up, and that didn't come from 4chan. It's like I said in that clip.
4chan.
I read what they write. I read their books. I watch these speeches. I watch a speech from Barry Weiss. I pay very close attention. So that's what I mean by that. There is such a thing as it's a nation that exists across borders on a global scale. They're organized, and they have a national self-interest as that nation, as that tribe.
Yeah.
So if you don't hate any Jews, what do you like about them?
I like a lot of things about them. I think they're funny. I think they're smart. I think that they're pretty remarkable.
It looks like Pierce is basically trying to get him. Again, it goes back to the whole thing where Pierce is really trying to get him to say, "Hey, by the way, are you racist?" Yeah, I'm racist. But I think they've already came across that from the last video and from the first hour. So, like, I don't think calling him a racist really works anymore. At this point, he's just trying to dig him and be like, "Oh, aha, I gotcha," kind of thing. But it seems like Nick's, he's doing pretty well with these questions, I think.
People, and as Christians,
now obviously in the beginning I think the dad thing was a little too much from Nick, what I personally think, but yeah.
Especially as Catholics, we say they're remarkable, and this has been adjudicated in Catholic doctrine for thousands of years. We say that they're a witness people, and so we actually, there's provisions inside of Catholic doctrine that says we need to give them special protections because they were a witness to Christ's passion. So
yeah, and that's why the U.S. is like so pro with Israel, because it's like in the Bible they're like God's chosen people, so that's why it's so like based on Christian values where they really want to protect them. So that's kind of like their I'd say like excuse, right?
This is why you can't clip the show. You have to watch the whole thing. I say this repeatedly in interviews. I do think they're remarkable. By definition, they're exceptional people. It's just that there is a sort of natural opposition between them and Christians because of the theology. We believe that Christ is the Messiah. They don't. They have been a minority in Christian lands for thousands of years, and they have been pushed around and expelled, and they've been persecuted and segregated. And that's why there's a lot of paranoia. There's a lot of distrust. There's maybe some sense of chauvinism among Jewish people. So there is, like I said in that clip, there is an historical antagonism between these two peoples, between Christendom and Jewry, and that has always been the case in Europe. But I don't hate them, and I think I actually sort of understand them in a weird way. I think that because I've studied a lot of their politics, I think I really...
And it's true, he never really said hated them, right? He just says that, they basically rule the world kind of thing with, like, I guess with his facts, right?
Kind of know them in a way, and it doesn't come from a place of hatred.
Do you have any Jewish friends?
I do. I have many, yes.
Well, that's weird, because you said this.
Jews and Christians have never been friends, ever. Not since Jesus Christ fought with the Pharisees. Have we ever been friends? Not since Saul.
Well, he's not saying him. It sounds like he's not saying himself he has friends, but he's saying the Christians and Jews haven't been friends. Like he's saying like the majority of people, but not him specifically.
Leading the charge, persecuting the Christians. Not since the Roman Empire, not since the Middle Ages. Never. We've never been friends. We've never been allies. We've always been...
This guy looks like a retired insomniac who hasn't got laid. Well, the funny thing is, actually, you say that, he's actually never had sex. So, there you go. That might be it. And he's only like 27, too.
Set against each other, actually.
And to be fair, also, like, yeah, he probably is tired and all that stuff, because I think someone actually tried shooting him. So there you go.
And even here in the United States,
what a committed Christian, right? And no sex before marriage.
were the architects of both communism and the civil rights laws that are dispossessing white Christians of their land and civilization.
The Jews and Christians have never been friends ever, except for you and your Jewish friends.
Yep.
Yeah, so easy. As peoples, as nations.
Got it.
Not saying every individual Christian, and of course there have been Christians and there have been Christian converts to Judaism, Jewish converts to Christian. You're nodding your head, but you're asking this. I'm saying as peoples, they've never been.
You're nodding your head.
I'm a Catholic like you, and I have many Jewish friends. I'm just trying to compute what you're.
You know what? To be fair, I don't think I have any Jewish friends. I don't think I do. Now I think about it, I don't think I have Jewish friends. I think I used to have a Jewish friend, but like I think she like stopped talking to me. She like hates me because of my views, just because I want illegals to be deported, and just because I made fun of trans people and compared them to like Blanca from Street Fighters. So that was my only Jewish friend. So I guess we're not friends anymore. Next to him, a fat ugly bastard who's over the hill. Are you talking about Pierce Morgan?
Jews and Christians have never been friends ever. And I'm like, well, you have Jewish friends. I have Jewish friends. We're both Catholics. Therefore, we're Christians. It doesn't really quite add up.
Well, like I said, as peoples, there has been an historical antagonism as peoples. And you could even say the same about blacks in the United States. Of course, there were black and white people that were friendly with each other, but in many ways, they were set against each other as groups. And I think that's easy enough to understand.
The reason that many people think you're anti-Semitic is that you have regularly downplayed the Holocaust, and in particular, the number of Jewish people who were murdered by the Nazis.
This was always a really interesting one when they don't like believe in the numbers of how many were unalived. So like I'm really curious on like this is the one I don't really understand too much, so I'm not going to try to like argue with this one. But it is interesting what they're saying. But I got to hear it again.
Been said that you believe no more than several 100,000 have been killed, and I want to play you this clip.
So the controversy is like the number is inaccurate, apparently.
We'll talk about, well, what about the gas chambers? Well, to the extent that that's real, I find that hard to believe, but to the extent that's real, there have been atrocities committed and genocides committed in all times and all places. Let's acknowledge why Hitler casts the long shadow. Because that confers a political benefit upon Jews. That's why.
It doesn't really sound correct to me. Wait a second.
Damn, young Nick.
Batch of cookies, and you have 15 ovens, probably in 4 different kitchens, right?
Oh, the cookies.
Doing 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years. How long would it take you to make $6 million? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be 5 years, right? The math doesn't seem to add up there.
You think that's funny?
It's funny. It's amusing what you're doing because, that one was a joke. But do you want to talk seriously about the Holocaust?
Yeah, I do, actually. I mean, I do, because I just find it...
Like you said, like, he keeps going to say that, oh, you think that's funny? You think it's funny joking around? And it's like... And then he just goes like, okay, well, I see what you're trying to do here. It keeps going back and forth. But it's like, at this point, you can't really guilt trip him emotional manipulation with Nick Fuentes because he already has a set mind. And... good for him that if he's standing by it, stand by it. Like, I would rather have someone stand by their views rather than back out and be, oh, well, I'm sorry, I'm bending a knee, right? So it looks like he's totally standing with his views. Now, again, I don't know about this whole thing, but I want to listen to him for this.
Extraordinary that you would think the Holocaust could ever be something that we can joke about.
Why, too soon?
Too soon? Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Is it too soon to make jokes?
How
damn.
Do you think died in the Holocaust? How many Jewish people?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe 7 million. What's the number? 6 million, something like that.
So you
8 million?
You concede that 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust?
Possibly more. Possibly, we're discovering all the time. So it could maybe even be more than that.
So why have you doubted the numbers in the past?
I'll tell you why. I really think that every death is a tragedy, however many Jewish people died in the Holocaust. And I'm not a World War II historian, so I'm actually open to believing the official narrative, and I've read some of the conspiracy theories. And to tell you the truth, it's a rigorous debate. But what's interesting about this is in many countries, it's not even legal to talk about it. And that's really
that's
where
crazy.
my interest in the Holocaust begins and sort of ends, to tell you the truth, is that if you wanted to question the number, you would be put in jail in about, 17 or 18 European countries.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I think that's really the more...
What's good? What's good, Nick? What up, man? We're watching this thing. So I started watching this yesterday, and then I got to an hour, so we're finishing it up. But it's pretty good. Yeah, Nick he's you know what? I'll say this about Nick, like, is that at least he stands by his shit, right? And I'm glad that he doesn't bend the knee. And this part's really interesting. So I know they talked about like the Holocaust part, right? Now, I don't know too much about the Holocaust, so I'm not going to go about like, okay, well, I don't know the exact number, right? And do I think it's a tragedy? Yeah, I think it's a tragedy for sure. But the thing is interesting is, right, there in some countries you're not allowed to talk about it. That's kind of weird, right? And the whole censorship with the whole around with the the juice and stuff like that. So, it is kind of interesting to know, but I think overall it gets deeper. Is that like what really was the number? Now, do I think it happened? It 100% did happen, but the number, I don't know. It doesn't really add up, right? Yeah, it's illegal to deny Holocaust in Canada. That's crazy. I did not know that. See, that's crazy in Canada. I did not freaking know that. So I'm glad Nick is here to clarify that up. But I want to hear what he says though about this. This will be interesting.
Interesting conversation, which is that this is almost like a religious dogma in the West. No other genocide, no other atrocity is treated like this. Could you imagine if in the United States...
And to be fair, I like how everyone's like, well, to be fair, I think it's some people, but people are butthurt about talking about the Holocaust, right? When he kind of makes a joke about it. But then here's the other crazy thing is evil is that we're in a world now that people don't even take violence too serious anymore. Like, remember how many people like were celebrating Charlie Kirk's death? That's insane. And that's just one person, right? It's just like people nowadays are so numb to like violence and all this stuff. They think it's just another thing. Exactly. People call violence every day, but it's just insane how we come to this conclusion of life where people are like this. Like, I mean, I feel like a long time ago it wasn't always like this, right? Like, fuck, like when someone died, someone fucking died. It was sad. But nowadays we're just like, oh well, celebrating. People die, and it's pretty crazy.
The number of Palestinians killed in Gaza is 100,000, and if you don't say that, you're going to jail. You're banned on
That's
X.
crazy.
You can't have a job. That's the part.
I will say this one thing with X though, like even though the majority of the part of X is kind of free speech, I think there's some stuff on X you still can't say. No, I get it. If you're like doing like if you're calling it violence on Twitch, right, it's not Twitch. Well, Twitch you can actually call it violence and be okay with it apparently. Cough cough Hassan. But like with X, I feel like with X with certain things you can't say, but there's some weird shit you can't say on X too. Like I remember my account was recently shadow banned because what I said, choke slam or something like that. It was really weird. So like I think in terms of the free speech is there, but not fully, right? I think you can grow up as your views change. Exactly, right? I 100% agree. Like when you grow up, like the views do change in the way. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes, to be fair, right? Let's just say Gavin Newsom was shot today, right? Yeah, it sucks, but at the same time, deep down inside, yeah, I would think that I would be kind of happy deep down inside. That's just the facts, right? That's just how it is, right? Like I honestly, genuinely would. But would I say and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, he's dead? No, I wouldn't celebrate it. But deep down inside, yeah, I probably would be kind of happy. So yeah, no, I think the views just start to change when you grow up, and things are just so different now. X is controlled. Oh yeah, 100% it is. Yeah, my X got mega nerfed. I don't get as many views. That's crazy. Yeah, I kind of wonder if I'm fucking nerfed. Views. I probably am most likely. Like, it's weird because I'll get like followers, but in terms of like, my content. Well, to be fair, I don't really post that much. I kind of focus more on the replies. I think I don't really do much posting myself. Yeah, my ex got mega nerfed. I don't get as much. Check your email. Oh, what happened to my email? Okay, let's watch it.
Totally insane. And a lot of people,
I think you're fine.
They can't even make up their minds. I think it's actually done a disservice. If your goal, and I'm not saying you as Piers Morgan, but if your goal,
I think so too. I probably am. I mean, to be fair, I only do it just to reply. It's kind of fun.
Your goal is to convince everybody that this is the way the Holocaust happened. I think the last thing you'd want to do is say that everyone that disagrees is in jail and is banned and you're not allowed to say it.
Yeah,
so
that stuff's crazy.
No open debate about the subject. since the scholarship started to be produced about 60 years ago.
But there is no debate to be had about the number of people who were murdered. Even the Nazis.
Well, here's the thing this is when he goes like, oh, there's no debate about it. But why can you have a debate about it? See, that's the thing. I think the idea is that why can't we find out of how many actually personally got unalive? Isn't that the whole point of researching and, going back to history is actually finding out the number, right? Now, it looks like he's already closed off to it where he's like, oh, well, people already died, so we shouldn't talk about it regardless. It's like, we kind of want to know these things, right? It's like, it's even like with, like, I'll bring back Charlie Kirk's examples. Like, I kind of want to know what really happened because till this day, we don't really know what happened. Like, yeah, he was shot, right? But they didn't give us information on how or like where. Like, these are the questions that we want to ask, but now we can't ask that because what? Because it's offensive or whatever?
In the trials after the war, confirmed the numbers. The amount of documentation that was recovered, notwithstanding the attempts by the Nazis to destroy it, the amount of documentation that was saved and preserved and used for trials and for historical record is unprecedented in the history of mass slaughter of human beings. So we have a very clear idea of how many people were gassed to death in the gas chambers. We have a very clear idea of how many were starved to death, kept in ghettos, died of disease, of forced labor, of death marches. We know how many Jews were slaughtered. It's at least 6 million. What's interesting to me is that you appear to now concede that, which may be news to a lot of your regular viewers who have constantly heard you quibble with the number of Jews who died in the Holocaust. And for the record, just to confirm what I think you told me, you do now accept that at least 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust.
Well, no, I said it could even be higher than
that.
It
could be higher.
It could be higher.
I think it's at least. But you accept at least. It is at least. Oh, it's at least 6 million. But it could be 100 times more than that.
Okay, the people are going to be.
I think the numbers are skewed also. Yeah.
Let me respond to the rest of your question.
To be fair, I never really thought about the numbers. I always thought about like, oh yeah, well, it happened, right? But I never went beyond and actually thinking about the numbers. To be honest, I didn't really care, right? It's like not something I really think about. But, there are people out there clearly who want to know what these numbers are. And now he's talking about it, and that makes me want to know about it now. But to be fair, I wouldn't have really cared. I just been like, okay, numbers, whatever. Like, it happened, right? But now the idea is that, like, now what are the real numbers, right? So now it kind of gets me curious.
What you're saying, I understand where you're coming from when you say it has been documented and there are confessions and so on. Let that speak for itself. But you don't see, your show is called Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Yep.
But the United Kingdom is censored and Europe is censored. And if you talk about these things, you will be put in jail in many countries.
That is true. So how is Piers Morgan like talking about this? Is he like I think Piers Morgan's part of the U.S. That's probably why. He like probably lives in like fucking L.A. or some shit like that.
And I think that's where a lot of people start to say, well, if the truth is so clear and if there's such overwhelming evidence, why do you need to throw people in jail for disagreeing? And you yourself said, well,
that's very true. Why do people need to go to jail? That's pretty crazy to think about. Probably dual citizenship. That's what I was thinking, right?
There is no debate. I think everything is debatable. I think everything at least should be debated. And if the evidence is very one-sided, let the evidence speak. Don't throw people in jail. So do you think that...
Well, here's the crazy thing, too. Like, a lot of people think, oh, just because it's a documented history book, it must be true. But if you read history books nowadays, it's very one-sided. Like, if you read, like, the history books from, like, high school and middle school, it's a very one-sided thing. Because in the history books, for example, they'll say, this certain person was a great person, but we all know this person was, a fuck-up, right? Like, example, they'll say, like, let's say example. In the history books, they'll say... Columbus was a great, explorer. He explored, the ocean blue, whatever. And yeah, but they don't tell you how he did it, right? So it's like a very one-sided thing. Like, now, at the end of the day, like, great. I'm glad Christopher Columbus did what he did because we wouldn't be living where we are today. Because if he'd never done that, then we wouldn't be here, right? So I'm not saying the guilt should be, oh, well, he was a bad person. Yeah, he was fucked up what he did, but hey, guess what? Without that, we wouldn't be here. So yeah, in history books, it's pretty one-sided for the most part. Yeah, and that's why we question it, and I think that's okay. And I think because now our generation and every year we get more shit and more knowledge about stuff, we want to be curious about the stuff. And that's how it was. It is what it is, right? That's just it. So like, and now for me personally, like I don't really care about a lot of stuff. I'm very like kind of like I'm pretty much like I would say like I'm in the middle and I don't really care. Like some things I care about, some things I don't, right? But I wouldn't like for something like the question about like, okay, how many Jews were killed? I'm like, I honestly don't really care. Like it's not a really priority for me. But hey, guess what? There are people out there that do make it a priority and want to know. And I think that's fine. And I think they should be allowed to question it. But again, it goes back to like, I think with the system and everything, like some things you're allowed to question, some things you're not, right? So it's kind of like that.
Holocaust denial laws should be overturned.
I don't particularly agree.
Oh yeah, and again, I think Pierce is a little out of touch with especially with England or London, right? Like he'll be like, oh yeah, well my son went to Chicago, for school, but Nick's like, well, you don't really know the part of Chicago, you're just in a bubble, right? And again, like with Pierce Morgan, like he probably never has to deal with the shit in London because he's rich enough that he doesn't have to deal with it. Pierce is a retard. I think Pierce is good sometimes. Like when he goes against like libtards, that's when like I think that's his bread and butter, right? But I think when Pierce goes against like people like Nick or people on more the central side, he does seem a little more retarded, right? But I think when he go against libtards, that's his bread and butter, and I think that's when Pierce, you kind of like the guy, is when he goes against libtards because those are kind of more the fun ones, and it's kind of like a guilty pleasure. So those ones are kind of fun to watch. But when he goes against like Nick and like I don't know, maybe like Andrew Tate, I don't know, I didn't watch the Andrew Tate one, but I was laughing at that one. That's a little different story with Pierce Morgan, right? So I think when it comes to like the with the with the libtard, it's a little different. It's kind of like it's like that's what his bread and butter is, right? That's where like he has the full advantage of those kind of people. But when he brings in like a right wing or or like people like Nick Fuentes, it does make it a little challenge. Now again, I think it really depends on who he's against, right? So that's what I personally think because I think Pierce is okay, like I mean. He's only fun when he goes against the libtards. Those are the fun ones because man, those libtards go on a meltdown and those are fun. I'm okay with those ones. But when he does one-on-one stuff like this, I think that's when the challenge comes, right? I think this is the challenge where Pierce has when it's a one-on-one conversation because usually the ones that libtard, it's like a group of people, so he doesn't really do well. Maybe that's why he's so good because he doesn't do shit and lets everyone just fucking beat the crap out of each other in these debates. So maybe that's why he's pretty good because he doesn't do anything. I guess I answered my own question. There you go. See, that's funny how we think about these things.
Of course, denial laws. I don't think people should be imprisoned.
Okay.
Well, because I have a blanket view now, which has evolved slightly actually over the years, that I have a blanket view that speech should not be criminalized. Right? People should be allowed to say what they want to say.
And I agree. And guess what? Someone was shot for that. No one talked about that, right? Oh, but when it comes to dumb shit like Jimmy Kimmel, oh my God, free speech. Yeah, fuck you guys. See, that's the one thing I'll be mad about. I don't really like that with how that happened.
Could be then made accountable for what they say. If you have
that's just told me being 100% biased
about whether you are the right kind of person they want for their employment, as they would make a decision about anything else you do in life. So I actually believe that speech should never be criminalized. It's my personal view. I understand why in places like Germany, they have strong laws about it because they want to move on.
Really?
What they believe was the most shameful moment in their history. I understand that. Do I want that in my country? No. Am I appalled by what has been going on with free speech in the United Kingdom in the last 2 or 3 years? Absolutely. It is ridiculous that people have been
yeah, that's just crazy. I think wasn't there something that the other day that someone got put in prison because he posted a meme on Facebook, some shit like that? That is insane. And maybe it doesn't happen very often, but it happened, and that's the crazy part.
On social media, right? So yeah, I do. I think what is more interesting to me about our exchange is I was not expecting you to go the opposite way. I was not expecting you to be so emphatic that at least 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust. And there'll be people watching this who I think will be very surprised by that because you have built a reputation for being, if not a Holocaust denier,
probably, yeah, it's
somebody
crazy.
Constantly questioning in a downward way the number of Jews who were murdered. That doesn't appear to be what your position is now.
No, and here's what I would like to see for my entire career. When I started my show, it started with a good faith inquiry where I was questioning a lot of these narratives. And I said, what is the answer on the other side? But what I found is that the answer was criminalized. So when you would talk about anything regarding Jews, Israel, the Holocaust, you could be in favor of the official.
Pretty sure in Germany, some guys in court for calling a politician fat,
and in some countries jailed.
Oh, that's
and
nuts.
So I actually haven't made up my mind on that because
I actually don't know the laws in Germany. That would actually be interesting.
There's a lot of analysis and scholarship.
I feel like Italy is like the few countries, and like Denmark are like the base countries. Like they seem like they're doing pretty well
on both sides of the issue. And I've read both sides of the issue. And honestly, unfortunately, it's hard to judge because there has never been. There's never been a debate on it. And there's never been a debate because of the stigma, because of the censorship. And I think that leads a lot of people to say, well, what do they have to hide? Because you can say on your show, well, I'm personally against Holocaust denial laws, yet they still persist and the social consequences still persist. And I think that that is the anomaly. And people have to wonder, okay, why is it that way? And what I said in that clip is the reason the Holocaust casts a long shadow is because it confers a political benefit upon organized Jewry. That is what they always fall back on. They cannot be criticized. They cannot be named. They cannot be talked about lest there be another Holocaust. And no other tragedy is treated that way. And no other ethnic group has a get out of jail free card. Just play that. Anti-Semitism and Holocaust. You can do whatever you want and defend all your actions. That's the part that people are getting upset with. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know any right-minded person who believes that Jewish people weaponized the Holocaust for their own personal get-out-of-jail-free or whatever you called it.
You don't know anyone that does that? That believes that?
I'm sure there are some people that do that, but it's such a ridiculous generalization. You know, the truth is that most Jewish people have lost relatives in the Holocaust. In fact, I want to play you...
Jewry. I know, they're using the word Jewry. I wonder if they... Is that the censored word they're using?
Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really fucking cool. So, you know, time to grow up. We're not children anymore.
Oh, right? Shit.
Am I right? Am I right, boys? Am I right? Let's go. He was also...
I don't know why he started saying it. Yeah, I don't know either. Like, he just randomly started saying it Jewry throughout, like, the interview. So I was like, Jewry?
Really fucking cool.
Oh my god.
Saying that?
Nope.
Saying a fact? No, that's absolutely true.
Nope. Nope.
Oh. You think Hitler was very fucking cool?
Yes.
Yup. Yup. That's damn. Hey, you know what? Good on him. I'm glad he's sticking up to his views, and I'm glad he doesn't back down. Good for him.
And I'm tired of pretending he's not.
I'm tired of pretending he's not. Oh, man. Freaking dumb right there. He said it in his interview with Tucker Carlson, and people lost him. Did he say that? I have to see that clip. If you can find the clip, I would love to watch that.
This is the problem, you see. It's a bit like when you just say, I'm a racist. You're a racist.
He's like, I'm a racist.
Who thinks Hitler's cool, but you're not anti-Semitic. If you're a Jewish person watching this, what are they thinking?
He doesn't give a fuck.
I've got a friend of mine called Danny Finkelstein, who, when he heard I was interviewing
here we
him,
go.
He's a Times journalist in the UK, very eminent journalist here, and author, who wrote a book about his own family's experiences at the hands of Hitler and Stalin.
Oh, here we
go.
go.
Told Tucker Carlson that you admire Stalin. But let's just take what Danny
Joseph Stalin.
Hi, peers. It's Danny Finkelstein here. As you're interviewing Nick Fuentes, you might try suggesting to him that he reads my book, Hitler, Stalin, Mum and Dad. It's called Two Roads Home in the United States. Since he says he's on Team Hitler, you might like to ask him about the fact that Hitler arrested my mum, tried to starve my mum to death, did starve my grandmother to death, sent my great aunt to the gas chamber, my great uncle, my cousin. My grandmother on my father's side ended up being one out of 7 children, the only one that survived the war. So you might ask him whether he wouldn't rather be on Team Mum rather than Team Hitler. And as for celebrating Stalin's birthday...
See, this is when he's using the emotional manipulation coming. Now, again, of course, yeah, it's terrible. I'm not saying it's a dub, but
Stalin took my father,
yeah, that's
sent him
pretty much what they're trying to do. But let's see what Nick says. I'm curious.
To a state collective farm, sent my grandfather to the Gulag you might try asking why he doesn't celebrate Dad's birthday rather than Stalin's. It may all be a big joke to him, but he complains that he was 18 when someone tried to cancel him. Well, Stalin and Hitler arrested my mum and my dad when they were 10 years old.
Yeah, pretty much.
So perhaps he might like to reconsider his joke.
I'm really curious. Let's see what he says.
See, that's the reality of your jokes. Although I haven't ascertained yet whether you...
Look at Nick's face. He's just like, yup, yup, good luck. He's like, yup, I heard that one before. Let's see what he says.
You are joking when you say that Hitler was very fucking cool. Are you joking, or do you actually think he was very fucking cool? The most genocidal monster of
shit.
The last 150 years.
Yeah, the thing is, my generation, we're just done with the pearl clutching, you know?
Yeah, it might be, but then your generation hasn't gone through what Danny Finkelstein's family went through. So maybe the pearl clutching has a way to go for families whose family...
Yeah, so now you see Pierce, he's basically just going at him, be like, well, you need to apologize right now because of what you said, because of what my friend said. And he's trying to get him to say sorry, but Nick isn't backing down from this.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, we got all that. We, me mom, like we're, I don't even know who this person is. Why is this person talking to me? This old British guy is saying me mom got killed by Hitler,
because he doesn't find it funny when you say Hitler's very fucking cool.
I don't care. I don't care.
I know you don't care. That's fine. You don't have to care. But he does care.
Does that guy care about America? Does that guy care about me and my country and my
shit, here we go.
Family? No.
He cares what you, a prominent conservative in America, has to say about Adolf Hitler. And what do you mean?
The only reason why he's mad at Nick for this, now, of course, again, it's offensive to him, obviously, because of his, family's experience, but it's also because he knows that Nick has a huge influence. That's why he's mad about it at the end of the day. It's because he knows Nick has the influence. And Nick said himself, it's like, my generation, we're just sick and tired of all this crap, right? It's like, we're sick and tired of being like, oh, well, you're racist, or, like, you can't say this. It's like, it's basically like we're sick of having Karens tell us what to do, right? And that's pretty much what's going on here. Nick is right. That old fuck don't care. Yeah, he doesn't really care. Like, he cares about his experience, but he doesn't care about America. Now, yeah, so that I agree with that. Like, he doesn't care about America at the end of the day. And Nick is very America first, right?
Hitler is very fucking cool. Because I think he's very fucking a monster.
And he's right. He doesn't, like, why does he care, right? It's a fucking kid. Like, you're an old guy who cares about a 27-year-old kid saying shit, basically.
Okay. And that's a clip. I think he's very fucking a monster. Do you hear yourself?
Yeah, I
mean, can we all grow up?
I do.
Can we all grow
up?
Shit.
Childish. He murdered 12 million people. What is very fucking cool about that?
Oh, shit.
The edits, it's just cool. The uniforms, the parades.
Oh, shit. The uniform, the parade, man, dude, he's going in. Pierce is so mad. Oh yeah, he big mad.
It's cool as a guy. You look
now, just to clarify, like I don't think Hitler is cool, so I'm just gonna say it like that. Now, was he inspirational in what he did? Yeah, I mean, he clearly changed the whole fucking country and his shit. Now, did I think what he did was base? No, I think it's terrible what he did, but I don't know. This is wild shit. It's like he's gonna cry. He might. I mean, we'll see, dude. It's like, that's why I don't really debate, because debate leads to so much fucking emotional shit. Honestly, I can never debate. I'm a terrible debater. Like, I would never debate, and like, like, you can vent to me about your shit. Do I care? No. Will I let you talk about it? Yeah, sure. But I'll never debate about it, because, it's because people like this, man, when they about to cry, I'm like, that'd be me, dude. I'm that guy who debates. I'm about to fucking cry. That's me. That's why I never debate.
War II. And it's fascinating, and it's interesting, and it's compelling, and it's cool. And,
But you know what? The one thing I didn't question, but I do remember one time saying to myself, damn, how does Hitler actually motivate people to do this, right? Like, that was a question I was interested in myself. Is like, how did Hitler actually, like, I think I said this before, like, he's a good speaker. That's it. Like, yeah, obviously what he did was shitty, but he was a great speaker. Hitler was a great speaker. He motivated a lot of people, and fucking worked, right? I mean, shit. I mean, it sucked that it happened, but hey, he convinced the whole country to do this shit. He even motivated Japan to follow, because Japan was very inspired by Hitler. So Japan, followed along with Hitler, and obviously we went to war with Japan and shit like that. He had a reason. Yeah, he had a reason. Now I don't know what the reason is, to be honest. I actually have to look back at what his reasoning was to doing that. But yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Tired of saying these kinds of things. We want to talk like real people and give our honest opinions. And then we literally get an old Jewish guy from England who's going to say, "Oh, that's not very funny, mate. Me mom," and it's like,
you know what? I think the biggest reason you gotta listen to his speeches. I gotta listen to his speeches. Now, here's the crazy thing. Now, I think what the real reason why Nick says this and why people don't care. Now, I think the biggest reason is because of our society and the country, especially like America. Like, we've been told, "Oh, you're a Nazi. Oh, you're a Hitler." Like, when these people keep telling, like, just normal people who just want their country to be safe, you're calling them Nazis, you're calling them Hitler. Like, it's to the point now that shit doesn't work anymore, right? And I think that's why Nick doesn't give a shit. And I think a lot of people are like this now. Like, fuck, people call me a Nazi and they call me Hitler. It's like, that shit doesn't work anymore, man. Like, you keep calling us that, because the day will come where we actually become the, well, not we, but someone, like, we'll get a true dictator one day. We will get a true, and I don't think Trump's a dictator. He's actually far from being a dictator right now, unfortunately, which kind of sucks, because that's what I voted for. I voted for a dictator. I wanted people in jail. I didn't get that, so that kind of pisses me off. But the day when we actually get that, that's gonna be the day when people are gonna be like, the boy who cried wolf, and it's just gonna be like, well, like, you said it, but hey, guess what? I don't care. And I think that's what's gonna happen. Like eventually it will come to that point, right? And I think Europe will probably hit it eventually, where they're gonna get someone in power, boom, and it's gonna happen. So I think that's why everyone just doesn't give a shit about the whole like Hitler and Nazi thing, right? So when Piers Morgan is saying this shit, "Oh, he was a monster," yeah, guess what? We don't care, right? And I think that's what's happening. It's like, they just don't care.
Shut up, like. No one is in favor of genocide. So let's just get that out of the way. We're not in favor of a Holocaust or genocide.
Do you think if half your family had been, you think if half your family had been wiped out by very fucking cool Hitler, you'd still...
He started using the F word, so that means he's getting really upset.
Think he was very fucking cool? Or would you think that actually he was a despicable monster who murdered 12 million people, who targeted people...
He's like, nope.
Nope. Disabled or Jewish or Romani Gypsy, or whatever it may be, and that he systematically destroyed people, incinerated them in gas chambers. Do you think that you would find it very fucking cool if your family had been through that? Or do you think you would find it very fucking disgusting? And perhaps moderate the number of times you laugh about it, or want to joke about it.
Oh, shit, here we go.
Abuse someone like Danny
I really want to know
Finkelstein,
what he says.
who's written incredibly powerful books about what happened to his extended family at the hands of the Nazis and your other hero, Stalin. See, my point to you, Nick Fuentes, is that in parts of this interview, you try to come across as moderate, but every now and again, the mask slips. And it slipped again here with what you say.
So you need to
Hitler.
apologize.
There's nothing very fucking cool about Hitler. We know that from history now. We know what he did. You've already conceded.
Dude, he's about to laugh.
At least 6 million Jews. So when you say he's very fucking cool, Jewish people watch this and go, this guy's disgusting. Why would he say this about...
I wouldn't be surprised if Jews actually really like Nick Fuentes. I think they said like the black community really loves Nick. So I wonder if the Jews are like the same people.
Someone who perpetrated such an evil. And what's the real answer? Why do you? Is it just for clicks? Is it for money? Is it just for fun? For shits and giggles? What is it? What motivates you?
They do, right?
Like,
I want to see like posts from them, be like, I stand with Nick,
it's
right?
For this. It's for all of this. And the lack of self-awareness is amazing. You're a boomer. You're a 60-year-old boomer. And we've spent maybe 3 minutes on you saying, he's a really fucking monster. He incinerated people. This.
Oh, man.
And I'm sitting here saying it's not that serious. It's not that deep. And
not that
what
serious.
I'm getting at,
not that serious.
Do you want to say more about he's a monster?
You're not a kid
oh,
yourself
man.
anymore. You're not a teenager.
I know.
Right? You're nearly 30. to be clear.
It's 27. It's crazy.
You're a fully formed adult who has a brain, right? And at some stage, that brain is taking you off these rabbit
Is this an
warrens.
interview or is this a lecture? Can I respond to what you're saying?
Yeah, it's literally becoming a lecture. It seems like that's what's happening.
I want you to explain why you think it's fine to say how fucking cool Hitler is and to dismiss the very powerful 90 seconds from a British journalist who lost a lot of family members to the Nazis in such a callous, dismissive manner.
I don't think it's powerful. I think we've been hearing that our entire lives. Okay, the Schindler's List. Let's just be honest.
Good movie, by the way.
Propaganda is over the top. We have been brought in America.
What about
and
the Schindler's List?
Tell me about the
Schindler's List. Well, tell me about the Schindler's List.
I like that movie.
About it. We have been browbeaten
very sad
as
movie.
people, as Americans, as Westerners, for our entire lives. And do you know what this has done? It has taken away any sense of pride, any sense of love for our own civilization. We have been made the villain in our own story. We have been made because, well, let's just be clear. It doesn't begin and end with Hitler is a monster. This has been the political narrative, which is why we have thrown open the borders. This is a political narrative, which is why we can't be a conservative society as a whole anymore, why we can't be proud of Europeans, why we can't be proud of being Christian, because they've told us if you're too white and too proud and too Christian, it's going to lead to a Holocaust. And so my generation
Yeah, no, that's very true. Like, I think in the last, since 2020, or even a little bit less, more than that, like around the 2016 like era, and this is experience from my experience where a lot of my friends were just like, you know that fucking one. Here's a good example. You know that fucking song by Childish Gambino about what's that song called? This Is America, something like that. Like, that victimhood shit was so brain rotted into our brains, where like it made us feel like, oh, we hate America. Oh my God, America's so bad. Oh, America's a bunch of Nazis and racists. Like they kept pulling that stupid racist card, right? And that was really annoying to deal with. So I think in terms of what Nick is talking about, this is the shit that people are trying to get us when they're trying to say like, well, you know, America sucks, you know, and we suck, you know, and you're a racist for saying that. Oh my God, black people this. But then you find out in 2020 it was all BS. Like with the whole like George Floyd thing was a total BS thing. Like it just was, and the BLM was a total BS. Like everything was BS, really. Like everything was just ridiculous. Like the things were going on, like the violence. Like they were trying to find ways to, and now we're having people going like, oh, well, you know, just because they commit a crime doesn't make them criminals. Like, no, it definitely does. So yeah, like I think a lot of people, again, I think it goes back to a lot of people are like sick and tired of being like told what to do and told that, oh, well, this is bad, so you can't say this, right? Or whatever.
What a crock of shit.
See,
honestly, Nick
it's true, and that's why people like me. That's why I'm popular, because this is bullshit.
Shit. Honestly,
yeah,
that's true. A lot of people like them.
What you just said, mom and me dad.
What you just
mom and me dad.
What you just said is a crock of shit, and you
it's
know
true.
it.
It's called the open society.
In your gut, you know it is. You weaponize this stuff.
You know.
You weaponize this stuff.
You know.
But you know when you say something like what you just said.
I'm banned from banking. I'm banned from banking and credit cards. You know who you're talking
to? Is he really?
You do it for money?
And by the way,
how much money you make? Your company's worth $100 million.
He banned from banking? What does that mean? How do you do that?
Your company's worth $100 million. I was banned from Bank of America.
And you shouldn't
I'm banned from processing credit cards.
And you shouldn't have been.
Really? Why was he banned? Just because of him?
But I am.
Not surprised. Oh, wait. Oh. I was going to say. Oh, that makes sense. I was going to say, wait, why was he banned? Oh. Okay, yeah, that makes more than the juice box, right? Oh, man. That's funny. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I'm doing it for money.
So what does he do? Does he like what? Does he like own gold and shit like that? What does he do?
Ask me my opinion about that. I'll tell you, you shouldn't have been. Right? I don't agree with that. What happened to you?
Then don't say I'm doing it for money, because you know that full well, and you say it's a grift.
How much money
if I wanted to be a grifter, I'd be like you, and I would go and say,
how much money are you making?
That's why they always say they're going to freeze your bank. Oh,
I'm making a lot of money now.
Yeah.
Now that I'm the #1 live streamer in America, because people agree with me more than
probably
they
cash.
That's
true.
We're tired of hearing about.
I mean, to be fair, credit cards are technically a scam. So if he's actually not using credit cards, it's actually very smart of him not to.
And the Holocaust and Jim Crow, we're done hearing about that. You guys overplayed your hand.
I'm not done hearing about that.
I am.
Well,
I'm pretty
your
much done.
generation's on the way out.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of done.
We're finished with that.
Oh shit!
I've got three sons. I've got three sons.
Oh shit! Let's go.
Share your views about slavery.
We'll see for now.
They can have decency and
we'll see.
And humanity about some of the worst things that have happened in the last.
Oh man, this is crazy.
They can do that, and they can also have concerned views.
The crash out is real.
Immigration and other issues. The two things are not mutually incompatible. You can have different views about different things. It's your lack of humanity and compassion for people about things like
I don't give a fuck
about slavery. It's that people find so contemptible. And I don't understand.
See, I think the problem is that, like, yes, it's good to acknowledge that it happened, but I think what Nick is trying to say is that the idea is like, dude, we can't stay in that victimhood any longer. That's the problem. And I think this is what he's trying to say, is I could be wrong, but from what I'm getting out of it is that we can't, like, let's think about this, right? I'm Asian, right? And, Asians got screwed over with the fucking railroads and, getting beaten and shit like that. And, I guess I can say even Japan's camps in US, right? Now I can sit here and be like, oh, well, I deserve reparations. I deserve this because I'm Asian and, you've hurt my ancestors. But the end of the day is like, I don't give a shit. And that's why a lot of Asians act like they don't give a shit half the time. They don't care because, like, dude, I'm not trying to be a victim. I'm trying to live my life. I want to work hard. I want to make money. And that's what happened. That's why Asians are technically the highest richest in America, because I truly believe is because they don't give a shit about being a victim. They're just like, okay, well, I'm here. What am I going to do to make the most of it? Let me start a business. Let me do this. Let me get rich. I mean, shit, the NVIDIA guy's fucking Taiwanese. He didn't play no victimhood. He's like, fuck this. I'm going to fucking create this fucking computer bullshit, and here I am. Now I'm fucking, I don't know, whatever how much he's making a ton of money. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I think what Nick really means is that we can acknowledge that it happened, but we gotta move on from it. Like, I think that's the biggest thing what a lot of people are doing is like, dude, we gotta move on from the stuff. Like, we can't have this victimhood of like staying there and just bitch and moan about it, right? I think that's the thing what he's trying to get at. Now, I think Nick acknowledges it, right? I think he acknowledges that it happened, but he doesn't want to stay there for too long. And I think a lot of people are getting to that point where they don't want to stay. They pull the victim card all the time. Exactly. And I remember I watched this TMZ thing with Kanye West a long time ago. Like, Kanye West was saying that, well, you guys are talking about, when cops, when white cops, unalive a black man, but why aren't we talking about the black on black crime, right? And then everyone got super offended. We're like, oh, it's okay to kill blacks on blacks, but when it comes to white man killing blacks, oh, it's the worst thing in the world. You have to do a BOM, like, rioting, right? But if it's black and black, no one cares. And it's true. It's fact. That's what happens. Like, no one talks about that. And everyone wants to blame the white person. And I think this is why Nick is so, what's that word? He's so proud and in terms of, like, really supporting the white people, because in the end of the day, the whites are getting suppressed a lot. And it's funny, white people are suppressing white people, which is weird, right? And again, it goes back to the whole victim card. Like, everyone keeps going, oh, and you see it on the politicians. They're like, oh, this is some white supremacist shit. Like, even though half the country and the minorities voted for Trump, they're calling us white supremacists, which clearly we're not, and Trump's already condemned white supremacy. So why are you calling these names and being victim, right? And seems like that's what's going on right here.
You need to do that. Is it, again, I just ask you, is your motivation financial? Is your motivation?
And I do like about Nick is that, at least with Nick, like, he doesn't what's it called? He doesn't say sorry. He keeps this thing going, right? Like, he stream dead. What does that mean? Like, is my stream dead or like stream is dead, or both? But yeah, like, I think this is I think I like how Nick, like, he just doesn't back down on this. It's like, good, and I don't think he should. It did for a second. Oh, ain't dead. Oh, okay, whoopsies. Okay, you scared me for a second. But yeah, no, I think overall, like, I at least with but Pierce Morgan should be That's funny. See, we're already like, I like I paused it at a really funny thing. Fat old fuck, yeah. But look, I like the way I pause at these random things. That's why I like random pausing. It's so funny. But yeah, no, I think overall, like in this situation, I think again, it goes back to like, like I think we're just sick of the whole victim mentality, and we should move forward, right? I think over that's what Nick really wants. He wants America to move forward. We need to stop victim blaming people. We need to stop being a victim. We need to stop saying all this dumb shit. Like, we just got to move forward and thrive. And you know what? Guess what? Here's another thing too. Why is China thriving and all their stuff? Well, because they put people in jail and they get shit done. That's what we need to do in America. We need to get shit done so we can have nice things too. Anyways, let's move on.
For fun? What is the motivation?
I'm sure it's more than
saying
that,
these outlandish things, which you don't need to say, and which I suspect, I don't know, I suspect a lot of it is performative. So what is the motivation?
I'm an iconoclast. The Holocaust is not my religion, and it is treated like a religion. It is treated like a religion with dogma, with blasphemy laws, and that secular religion says, and you say that's a crock of shit. It's intentional. It's called The Open Society by Karl Popper. It's by these architects of the liberal order.
And here's the one thing too, it's that like I don't read much books, so I can't really say much. But you gotta remember, these people read fucking books, and they probably get. I feel like books have so much knowledge that we don't know about, and that's why they say stuff where like we're like kind of like, oh, this actually makes sense, kind of thing. Like people are like, I think that's a big thing is the books. The books really do.
They got together
help
and they
a
said,
lot.
how can we make sure that Hitler never happens? How can we make sure that totalitarianism never happens again? And they came up with the consensus, which is that we need to take down nations, religions, fathers, the authoritarian personality. We need to be empathetic and altruistic. We need to be diverse and pluralistic. And that experiment isn't working. And I'll tell you the truth right now, and you can laugh at this, you can scoff at this. Our people are being genocided in our country. 50% of the live births in the United Kingdom and in the United States are non-white. In 100 years, my ancestors, your kids who are so empathetic and compassionate, they're going to be a minority. They're going to be a minority in maybe a Muslim country, an Indian country, an Hispanic country. And these Jewish people that are 100 years old talking about my grandparents and the Holocaust, they don't care about that. Actually, they like to see it. At the SPLC, they're literally counting down the days until whites are a minority in America. So forgive me if I don't believe them.
No, I agree. I 100% think that's what they're trying to do, right? Because I know obviously whites make up most of the majority in America, but yeah, no, I 100% believe that. Like, I think that's actually truly happening in America, where they're slowly trying to push white people out, or at least in terms of trying to make them the minority. I mean, look at Minnesota, right? Minneapolis with all that fucking Somali shit. Like, they've literally controlled the whole town for Somalians in Minnesota, and they're getting all the white people to basically be their bitch. Like, that's a real thing happening. And like, and again, you see all the Congress people, they're like not even white anymore, and they're saying all this white supremacy and say fuck white people, kill white people. Yeah, it's happening. And again, like I'm pretty sure it's happening in other countries too. Like, they're just like, even Japan tried doing that, which thank God they're not doing that anymore. But yeah, it's like it's the illegal immigrants that come into our country that really just want to destroy shit, right? Like, again, I'm all for immigration. Like, if you do it legally, you're vetted, you're a normal fucking person, great, come on in. But if you're just some trash ass like illegal immigrant coming in, you're a criminal, and they just let you do what the hell you want, then that's a problem, right? And I think that's the issue that's going on, and that's the scary part that America almost had. Like, they brought so many people into America, like, we just don't know who the hell is here. It's insane. Exactly. Gotta, yeah, I 100% agree. Gotta root out the shit politicians, then get them, and that let them get that far. Exactly. Which, that's the thing I'm really disappointed about right now with this administration, is that we haven't arrested these politicians who are making this happen, right? Like, yeah, we make fun of Joe Biden with the auto pen or whatever, but why hasn't he been arrested? Like, if you're using the stupid auto pen, then why aren't people in jail? That's the big thing. That's what's really annoying to me, is that, like, you accuse these politicians for doing these things, well, get them fucking out. Like, put them in jail. I don't understand. We love Grandpa Joe. Oh my god. He did say something really funny the other day. He's like, we gotta remember, we're the United States of America. It's pretty bad. We need President Newsom to pardon his old ass. No. No. I rebuke that. I reject that premise. That guy could not touch he cannot touch it. I'm sorry. I'm saying this right now. I'm saying right now. I'm saying like a very good faith here. Okay? Like that is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Like we're not gonna let that happen. That's just wild. Like not letting hold on. I gotta screen. I gotta fucking no. Ace, you gotta look at me right here. Look at me. That is not happening. We're never gonna let that happen. Okay, just remember that will never ever happen. You keep that person. You keep them away. Keep them away from our country. That man cannot touch it. Nope. Not happening. You are not touching. They are not touching it. That's it. Why am I thinking all weird? But no, they can't touch it. That's just how it is. We're not letting shit happen. Nothing at all. Okay, cool. All right, just making sure where we're at about this. No, it's not gonna happen. Can't let them touch it. No. Yeah, Booba sent it. Yeah, right. Maybe I could, right? I gotta put my screen a little bit more. But anyways, so back to where we were. Why is my screen so big? Hold on, I gotta fucking do this shit. There we go. Okay, back to it.
And then when they talk about compassion.
Oh, by the way, guys, you guys want to see? I have a new VTuber coming out, and so my one's lagging, but I'm doing this other one. I think it's super funny. So there's my senpai is making me a new VTuber. It's really funny. So I'm gonna become a burger very soon, guys. So we're gonna do a burger VTuber. Wing Minaj? No, not yet. Wing Minaj is my next one though. But I'm gonna be a burger pretty soon, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah. I don't know. I thought it'd be really funny, so I think that'd be a fun little troll thing to have. I want to be like a smash burger and everything. But anyways, let's finish this up. We lost track.
Not against the
How many
Jews.
Christians are there?
Gaza, it's against
How many
whites.
Christians are there in the world? Like me.
1 point some billion.
Yeah,
2 billion.
How many Jews are there?
15 million.
Okay. So
15 million Jews.
Face, you're going to tell me the world is being overrun by the Jewry, by 15 million people, when there are over 1 billion Christians. There is a genocide of Christians like poor old Nick Fuentes going on at the hands of...
So the thing that Pierce doesn't know, there is a genocide happening with the Christians. Like, Christians are getting persecuted and killed every day. So, which, first of all, I don't know why the Christians are even there to begin with. I think a lot of Christians, they go like, oh, we're going to do missionary work, and we're going to go, spread the gospel and get killed for Jesus. I'm like, oh, fuck that shit. I ain't doing that fucking shit right there.
These 15 million Jews. Really?
See, this attitude is why you're losing. When you say,
who am I losing to?
White people,
who am I losing to?
White people.
Who am I losing to?
You're seeing it. Mass migration. Oh, you're losing to me.
You're
losing as
Oh, yeah. Well, you're losing to me. That's what you're doing. Be right back. I'm going to grab some water real quickly. Okay, let's finish it.
Civilization and mass migration. And here's the difference. In Israel, they have my politics. In Israel, they want to maintain a Jewish majority. If they had it their way, it would only be Jewish people. They're fighting like hell so that Jewish people can have as much territory, a Jewish state. They can be proudly Jewish in their own land. Whereas in America, we are being besieged.
Actually, hold on a second. I forgot my water. Okay, I'm back.
By 10 million illegal immigrants in 4 years. And then whites and Christians are going to be the minority. And that's true in Canada, Australia, all the countries in Europe. So you could say there's 2 billion people, but what's the proportionality? What is the percentage of people being born that are white? Where's the arrow pointing? Where are we going to be in 50 years? In 50 years, there might be in Israel. In 50 years, there isn't going to be a white Christendom.
You don't believe people should get married, right?
I think people should get married.
This is wild
You're
shit.
Basically anti-marriage, really. You've talked about this.
He's going ham.
Are we done talking about white genocide?
Well, no, I'm coming to the same part because you seem very resistant to the idea of marriage. You've never got married. You've talked very scathingly about henpecked husbands. Just take a look.
That's true. Guys get to a certain age and they're like, you know what?
Yeah, because we need more retarded. We need more retarded white people. I think overall, in general, like, I think I get what he means in terms of like we want to keep it, because he is technically right. We're getting into a lot of points in life where we're thinking white people bad, white people this. Now, I think overall, like, yeah, you're right. I don't want more retarded white people. I don't want retarded anybody, to be honest. Like, I see it as a different way. It's like we just don't want retarded people in the world. That's what I don't want, right? Like I don't care what race you are. If you're retarded, I don't want you here. So, yeah, I mean, you got a point there for sure.
Women suck. Like, they're talking too much.
Oh my god.
Like, you're fat, you're chubby, you're not as hot as you think you are. You fucking talk too much. You're a bitch.
So we'll obviously get
very fucking true. I feel like the women these days, like, obviously not my wife is very smart and amazing and hot, but like there are a lot of retarded white like women who are just fat. They have blue hair, they have like the nose rings and shit, and they fucking like I don't know, they yell all the time, and they're a bunch of Karens. That's true.
Get to the brazen misogyny part of that a little later, but I'm just curious. On the one hand, there's this terrible genocide going on of white people. On the other hand, you want people effectively to stop going near women because they all turn out to be so ghastly, so they shouldn't presumably procreate. So how does that work? I mean, aren't you with your rhetoric actively
how's it work? You find smarter women. I don't know.
Encouraging men not to associate with these ghastly women, therefore not have any more children. Therefore, you are contributing, Nick Fuentes, to the diminishing white population. I'm confused.
I tell my followers to get married all the time. I tell them that it's best for everybody to get married. And I think that's the only way that you can have sex. I think that's the only licit way as a Catholic, as you know, to have sex is within marriage.
Why don't you
get married?
I'll get married later. It's been difficult for me because people are shooting at me at my house. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'll eventually get married. But yeah, by the way, everyone's trying to shoot me. So yeah, I mean, maybe I don't want to get married right now.
That I don't want to have kids and a wife. You know, my wife would be screaming about that.
You know what Nick needs to do? He needs to move to Florida. I think Nick needs to move to Florida because right now, Florida is thriving. And yeah, I feel like you live perfectly down there. He should move there.
Me, you know, I have to be able to take risks and be able to say these things. It's difficult to bring a family into a life that's like that. But for my followers, I tell them to get married. But what's happening with women...
You literally just told your followers... Hang on. In that clip, you literally told followers, women, they get old, they get fat, they get ugly, they get very annoying. So where's the incentive to get married?
I think there's some kind of context with that, too. I think what they're saying is that... I don't remember the exact clip, but I do know that Nick does talk a lot of... I think he's talking about the Karens specifically, because it's true. We do have a bunch of Karens right now, and I think that's the biggest threat right now in America is the Karens. Like, the middle-aged Karens who have this suicidal empathy of like, oh, well, you know, if it makes me feel good, then why do I care about other people, right? It's like, oh, well, we need to help these illegals, stuff like that. But by the way, it's not going to happen to me because I live in this rich-ass house and I can say the shit I want. Like, those are the people I think Nick is talking about. And I agree. Like, those people are the biggest threats in our country right now is the middle-aged, I wouldn't say white women, but like middle-aged Karens, right? I'd say the middle-aged Karens who are just basically trying to control what we say, you trying to be all butthurt about everything. Those are the people. Yeah. No, they're actually not. They're not the ones here in America. Not the ones here, Ace. No, they're majority of Democrat. They're not even Democrats anymore. They're like a whole nother thing. Maybe the Karens used to be Republican back in the day. But in majority right now it's the Democrats, man. It's scary. It's scary stuff, so.
To women.
And again, I don't care what side it is, right? Sure, there's Karens Republicans, there's Karens Democrats, but that's what I'm saying, man. It's the Karens. That's what I'm saying. So I'll say that. Yeah, there probably are Karen Republicans, and I'm sure there are. But I think it's both sides. There's both sides are Karens, and they're just terrible.
You're actively telling them the opposite.
You're extrapolating a lot. We can complain.
Just quoting you back yourself again.
No.
And by the way, I'm not really Republican. By the way, I'm actually a centralist, so I'm actually just an independent party right now.
No, but you're extrapolating and saying, well, you say women are annoying, so therefore, what's the incentive? We have to do it in spite of the fact that they are annoying. We have to do it in spite of the fact that they talk too much. We can get them to lose weight. We can put them on peptides. We can get them to the promised land.
By the way, they use a lot of Ozempic now, so like all like the fat people. I think what's her name? Fucking Amy Schumer and what's that fat bitch name? The other one, Zello, whatever, Zelly. What's her name again? Yeah, apparently she took Ozempic, and now they're like skinny now. I guess the fat whatever, like the proud being fat didn't work out for them. I think.
Do you think this view of women,
Zillow,
none of them want to go near you?
Oh, you should see my DMs.
Oh my lord!
They're called the Groy bets, and I'm actually batting them away. Granted,
I'm batting them away.
Some of them are attractive.
Are you actually? Look, just to clear up one of the many theories about you. I have no idea what the answer is, and you haven't got to answer. But are you actually attracted to women?
I am attracted to women.
You're not gay.
What?
No. But I will say that women are.
Okay. Here, we gotta take a pause on this, but I gotta show you this clip. Is so funny. Okay, let's get back to this thing. Ready? Let's go back watching it.
Are very difficult to be around.
Okay.
So there's that.
And do you think they should have the right to vote?
I do not. No, absolutely not.
They should stay at home?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So basically, you're just a misogynist old dinosaur.
You know, it's really funny that my wife were talking about this. She was like, "Dude, I don't want women to vote," and she was like, "I want to be a stay-at-home mom, just chill." You'll be surprised. A lot of women want this. You'll be surprised.
Funny.
It's it's what ruins it's like the Karens, right? It's the Karens that ruin everything. To be honest,
for a young guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm the boomer. I know I'm the boomer here. But actually, you're a 27-year-old dinosaur, aren't you? Aren't you, Nick?
The caveman.
All women.
I am.
All women are annoying. All women grow old. They all get fat. Says the guy. Have you ever had sex?
No, absolutely not.
Wow. Says the guy who's never got laid.
That's the thing, though. You boomers, it's always
think you're an expert
get laid,
in women,
free love.
Given you've never got laid.
Yeah, we are going back to the Stone Age. You're absolutely right. This. You know, you're talking about empathy and your kids are empathetic and they would never laugh at a joke about the Holocaust and you're a misogynist. You're a simp yourself. You're totally henpecked. That's the problem. So we are going back to the way
Let me play another clip of yours about women.
A lot of women want to be raped.
Oh, that mic.
When I say raped, I mean like...
You bar ran out of jerk off material.
I say it like that. But there's like a lot of women that really want a guy to beat the shit out of them. But also, they have to pretend, but part of it is they have to pretend like they don't.
You think women want to be raped, do you?
Oh, shit.
That's what the studies show, Piers. That is what these statistics
that's what
say.
You believe,
they have fantasies. They have fantasies about it. I don't think that they want to actually get raped. But there's a study out there. Get ready for this. It says 62% of women have rape fantasies. And if you read anything that they're reading, if you watched what they're watching, what do you think 50 Shades of Grey is about? What do you think Twilight is about? I mean, that's just true.
You think women want to have the shit beaten out of them, as you said?
Yeah, and it's very disturbing, but it's true.
You'll be surprised. There's some crazy fantasies. You'll be surprised, man.
Do you think your views on women might change if you actually ever had a relationship with one or had sex and actually had a proper relationship? I mean, people say the reason you're so angry about women is you're basically an incel.
I'm not angry about it.
You sound very angry. You sound very, very angry about women.
I'm passionate. It's an issue.
You're not passionate. You're sounding very bitter about women, as if women have done a terrible disservice to you. But when you don't have relationships, you don't have sex, when are they doing these terrible things to you that's made you so hateful towards women? I'm really curious.
Was that? I don't think that was a hateful clip. I think I was laughing. I said they want men to beat the shit out of them, and that's just true. I mean, when you look at the state of modern women, all they do is lay in their bed, doom scroll. They're chilling out. They're getting a little fat. It is what it is. I don't know what the average weight is, but they're getting a little heavy. And any guy that is playing the field these days, will tell you that. I mean, and I know a lot of the Chads. I am an incel. I'm friends with a lot of Chads like Bradley Martin, Clavicular. They agree with me. You know, there's sort of like this alliance between the guys that don't have sex and the guys that get the most sex. We know what women are about. It's the guys in the middle. Guys like you in the middle. It's the beta male orbiters that say, she's amazing. You're a misogynistic pig. Because I don't know what that is. I guess
well, come on, let me explain to you what I think it is. I think when a 27-year-old guy who's never got laid, never had a meaningful relationship with a woman, says that women shouldn't be allowed to vote, they should stay at home, that all they do is fantasize about being raped and being beaten up, that's what they want, that they're annoying, that they get fat, that they get ugly. That's a misogynist. Now, you may not understand it because your knowledge of women is so incredibly tiny, but actually you are the embodiment of a misogynist. It couldn't be clearer. And if I was in a way, you have the deep-rooted misogyny of some of the actual boomers I know. Yet here you are, 27 years old. And most of the current studies show that a lot of men are really disenfranchised from society, no longer have physical relationships.
Well, he's in Chicago. You can go find him if you want to.
With women, if they've ever had them, never associate with women and build up instinctively misogynist views about women. And I fear you're in that position. You're just a bit of a lonely guy who wants to get laid and can't for whatever reason. And it's made you bitter about women. And I don't know where that's come from, but it's fascinating.
No. See, here's the thing. First of all, you're very caught up in the labels. It's always, you're a racist, you're a misogynist.
You said you
these
were
words
a
mean
racist.
nothing to me. Well,
You gave yourself.
Can I respond?
You gave yourself the label.
What is this?
You said, I am a racist. I didn't give you the label.
Okay.
You said, Nick Fuentes, I am a racist.
Calm down. Calm down.
Did you or didn't you?
It's okay.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
so
here's
I didn't give you the label. You did.
Why are you yelling at me?
Because you're trying to infer
screaming at
something that didn't happen. You said, I gave you the label of being a racist. No, you did. You said, I'm a racist. You gave yourself the label.
You're going to have to tone it down a little, all right? You're going to have to bring it down a notch and relax. This is just an interview, okay? Please calm down. All I said is you're hung up. I didn't say you gave me that. Maybe I did.
You did.
But here's what I mean. What I mean is you're just hung up on proving you're a misogynist. Okay, you're a racist. Okay, you denied the Holocaust. And I'm not about the labels,
man. You didn't deny the Holocaust.
Past that.
As I said to you, look, Nick, I just wanted to go over the stuff that everyone uses out there about you and get you to respond. And we are getting, I think, a long way in this interview. Right?
Okay.
You didn't deny the Holocaust. You accepted there's been a Holocaust of at least 6 million Jews.
I'm a maximalist. I'm a Holocaust.
That is significant. You
I think it's more.
You did admit you're a racist, and you have spelled out a thought process about women, which is the purest definition of misogyny that I've ever seen. And you said you're not gay. So we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. Well, look, and I own the labels, okay? But I just don't care that much about them.
That's fine.
I feel like the whole.
I'm not saying
this is like a weird.
I'm not saying you have to care, Nick. You don't have to care about any of it. I promise you. Right? That's not why I got you on the show. I wanted to give you a fair crack, which I think I have. We've gone over a lot of stuff. We've got a bit more to go on. I genuinely don't think I've ambushed you with anything you couldn't have been expecting.
No.
I don't think I've been overtly hostile. In fact, when you've asked me to calm down, I've calmed down. I don't want to have a hostile, angry, shouty match with you. I simply want you to spell out exactly what you've meant about all these things, and people can then be the judge of them. So let's take another break, and we'll come back and talk about Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and others.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Christmas is peak time for online shopping.
Where are we at right now? We're at
hackers and data brokers who steal your information online.
Yeah, this is crazy. It's getting really good. It's getting pretty spicy now. I like it.
Top tier encryption keeps your
I like what we're getting here.
Even on dodgy public Wi-Fi, which is perfect for holiday travel. You can set your location to 105 different countries, which lets you access content from all over the world. Users
I'll make this a little smaller.
Streaming and even plane tickets with Express VPN. All for $3.99
I'm gonna try doing this.
a month. It's a no-brainer. I use it, and you should too. Right now, you can get an extra 4 months.
I'm gonna make it a little smaller, just cause.
You go to expressvpn.com/peers. That's ExpressVPN's lowest price ever, plus 4 extra months of service. Just scan the QR code on the screen or go to expressvpn.com/peers.
Let's see if I can try and move it this way.
Okay, back with Nick Fuentes. You began your show in 2017, the same year as Trump was inaugurated for his first term in office.
We got ExpressVPN. I have Surfshark
at that time. But you've grown increasingly disillusioned, I think it'd be fair to say. Let's play a recent clip from you about Trump.
We played this game in the first term. We're 10 years in. And you still have these
it's
people,
another VPN
I
thing.
hate to say it, but they're just like in denial. And they're like, okay, everybody, let's all go on Twitter and let's tell Trump, don't screw over your voters. Okay, hey, Trump, don't hire John Ratcliffe in the CIA. Like, what are we doing? We lost. It's over. The time to make demands was during the election when he needed the votes. He's a lame duck president. He doesn't need anything from us. He's not even on Twitter. He's on Truth Social. So what are you talking about? We're going to all rally and tell him, don't hire yet another neocon?
Now, over the weekend, you posted this on X. You said performative cruelty is the perfect phrase to characterize the Trump admin and the mood of the MAGA movement. In order to compensate for his compromises and failures, Trump has to fall back on mean-spiritedness to appeal to the basest instincts of its followers. It's really sad. I mean, do you think you're the best person, Nick Fuentes, to lecture people about performative cruelty?
Why? Are you accusing me of being cruel? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
How am I cruel?
You're cruel about black people. You're cruel about women. I mean, you're cruel about a lot of people, and you're very performative.
Okay. I don't think I'm performative. If anything, everyone else is performative. I'm authentic. You know, whatever you want to say about me, it's real. It's from the gut. But yes, I do think it's performative. And what I mean by that is, you know, when they're doing the deportations, they know the deportations are not where the base wants them to be. They deported, the figures are disputed, but from my data, it's 300,000 in the year, which is not a massive deportation. They know the base is unhappy with that. So what do? The deportations that they are carrying out, they do a big spectacle and they arrest everybody and they film it and they put a hype at it. And there's a meanness in there. They played that song, I think from Sabrina Carpenter or something, and they make it a joke. They make it glib. And they do that because they're not delivering on the promise. So they compensate by doing it meaner, edgier, more mean-spirited, so that the base will overlook the fact that it's not happening. And I think that's by definition performative cruelty. You can call me a hypocrite, but it's definitely true about what they're doing in the administration.
You went to see Trump at Mar-a-Lago with Ye for dinner. What was that like?
It was very interesting. They're my two heroes. Ye is my hero. Trump is my hero. Even though he's very disappointing, I still a personal hero of mine. And he's a remarkable person. It was a great conversation. We got along pretty well. He liked me. I liked him. It was a love fest.
I feel like when they say data, it's like we would probably need like facts and stuff like that.
White supremacist
but I think it's funny so far.
Do you accept you are a white supremacist?
No, absolutely not.
You don't think white people are superior to black people?
No, I'm a Christian, so I believe everybody is equal before God.
Including women?
Yes.
So you give women equal rights? Then?
No.
Great.
No.
Great. Okay. So you just talked a lot of bullshit, didn't you?
No. Why are you like mad about this? No.
You want women to be treated equally before God, but you don't want to give them equal rights.
Yeah, because women and men are different.
Look,
do you believe there are two genders?
It's your view.
Do you think there's two genders?
I do think there are two genders, yes.
Okay. And so you mean there's distinction. There are two distinct genders.
I think we should all have the same rights to...
Well, if they're meaningfully distinct, biologically distinct, and they have different social and biological roles, I think it would follow that we would treat them a little bit differently in the law.
Do you think the Catholic Church's teachings reflect that?
I do. Yeah, there's no female priests. Have you ever seen that?
Do you think
there is a female priest, and it's the worst ever. She's a fucking Karen, dude.
Thinks all women should be deprived the vote?
Yeah, I think so.
No, they don't.
I think they do, yeah.
You think the Catholic Church position is women shouldn't be allowed to vote?
I think so, yeah,
No.
but I'm not positive.
No,
I think so.
Well, it should be.
It should. Because if you were Pope, that's what you do. You could be Pope because you're celibate.
That's true. And I'm also from Chicago, like the Pope. But look,
Right.
I mean, women, it says in the Bible that women have no authority over men and they can't teach men. And that's why there's no female priests.
This is so
Well,
good.
in the Bible. I mean, do you take every word of the Bible as sacrosanct?
Well, yeah, it's inspired scripture.
That's all of
But
it.
I mean,
is
is this now
all of it is
a
sacrosanct.
theological debate? Well, it is Catholic doctrine that women should not lead and teach. I mean, you're not interacting with what I'm saying. Why can't women be priests?
They should be.
Okay, well, you're not Catholic. That's not a Catholic
I am
position.
a Catholic. Many things I disagree with the Catholic Church.
Okay. Well, that kind of is contrary because the whole
Oh,
basis
really?
of being Catholic is
No.
accepting.
You
Yes,
can be,
it's
you can
accepting
be
the
a member.
authority of the pontiff.
You can be a member of a religion and disagree with parts of that religion. Perfectly reasonable.
You could be, well, yeah. I mean, you could say
Unless you're an
that, but it wouldn't be
extremist.
true.
If you're an extremist, you can't.
Okay.
Obviously, you never deviate.
That's just not
You
rigorous.
never
That's just
deviate if
sloppy.
you're an extremist. But even the
That's
Constitution,
just sloppy.
even the Constitution's been amended. Was it 27 times? People talk about this sacrosanct document. It's it's been amended 27
Oh my
times.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my, this is not rigorous intellectually. This is very, this is
Just a statement of
tabloid
fact.
theology. Okay. But it's fine. Where were we? We were talking about Trump and somehow we got
on
into
Trump,
you're
look,
white
on
knighting for
on-
women's rights.
On Trump, well, I think women should have the same rights as you and I. You don't. That's fine.
Yeah, I honestly don't.
We're waiting.
What's the pink hat for?
I don't even know what we're talking about, to be
For
honest.
the march, for the women's march. Are we going to see you at the women's march protesting for women's rights and all that?
I think women should have equal rights to men. Period.
I think the problem with the whole equal rights for women thing, I believe for equal rights too, but the problem is I think the ones who are advocating for it are the ones that are also advocating for trans women to be in women's sports, which is kind of contradictory, right? I think overall, like, I think when people say, like, oh, I'm all for women's equality, I don't think a lot of them are, to be honest, especially the ones who are, like, advocating for it, especially like the politicians, right? Now, again, it doesn't matter who politician is, but usually for the ones who would say, oh, equal rights, and then they're like, oh, by the way, you can have a trans woman in your sports, right? Like, I don't think it's very equal, and I think they truly don't really care.
You carry tampons in case your female friends get a period or something? Like,
here's a crazy thing. So I was at this school, and I went to this college randomly a couple days ago, and I went to the men's bathroom. There were tampons in there in men's bathroom. Insane.
it's crazy.
I'd
White knighting is
have no problem
diabolical.
giving a female friend a tampon. Would you? Have you ever? I don't suppose you've ever seen a tampon, have you?
Gross. Absolutely not.
You
Get
think,
that
you
away
think
from me.
tampons are gross?
Yeah, they're
Really?
filled with period blood. Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Wow.
Are you into that? You like that? You,
Have you
you
ever
have
seen
a lot of tampons?
I don't think you've ever seen it, have you?
Maybe it was for the men to smoke
I've seen 'em.
cannabis
I've
filling.
seen 'em
Is
before.
that what they
You've
use it
been
for?
that close
Yeah.
to a woman? Really?
No, I've seen them. Look, I
you've seen
I used to
videos?
live with
I
women,
bet
so
you've
I've seen them around the
I
house.
bet you've seen videos, haven't you?
What are we talking about here?
What are we doing here, Piers?
What
I'm
are
not
we
sure.
doing? What's
hate
going
that.
on here?
Sure,
You're
mate.
more impressed that I'm a misogynist than you are about anything. It's
Not
very
really.
revealing.
I'm actually more exercised about your
What is going on?
blatant self-admitted racism than I'm about.
I honestly
But the
don't
misogyny
even
runs a
know what
close
happened.
second.
I don't even know
Let
what's
me
going
ask
on
you about
anymore.
Tucker Carlson, because you had a long sit down with Tucker Carlson.
I need to
Actually,
watch that one too.
Oddly, I like Tucker. We get on well. I was with him last week in London. But he gave me a harder time than he gives you. And then afterwards, he was more critical. And then you said this about Tucker.
He's a handler. He handles people. That's what he does. He's a fucking liar and a handler. He goes around telling people, I don't know anything. I don't know. Oh, I know nothing. I don't even have a phone. I am just a clueless tourist. I just travel to all these countries and, I don't trust him. And I don't care, maybe that alienates me from people in the conservative movement. I don't care. I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not going to be a party to whatever.
Why? Because
that is.
of what he
Whatever
says?
that CIA bullshit is, I'm not going to be a part of it. So, now that I've heard enough from Tucker and I've heard enough from other people and I've seen enough
this guy's not who he says he is. Not an ally. Stay the fuck away from me. You're weird, dude. You're weird.
What would have been great is if you'd said that to him when you were sitting opposite him.
So was that after, I guess?
Well, when I was sitting opposite him at the dinner and in the interview, he was nothing but nice. He was very nice to me and very cordial, and he didn't call me an anti-Semite.
So he said that after.
And he didn't even press me on it.
He's the worst kind of trash.
I thought he would,
I've seen worse.
I almost wanted him to. He was nothing but nice, and we had a great time. We had a really great dinner, really great interview.
Oh, he can't be deported by us. He's American
really
citizen.
Good about it. And the next week on my show, I said, he really surprised me. He's great. And then every interview he's done since, all he does is call me an anti-Semite. He goes, well, I hate his anti-Semitism, and, you know, I wonder why people like him. And so I just think that's two-faced. So after that experience, it kind of turned me off. I didn't like that, but he's going to do what he's going to do.
I think I think a lot of people are more open to Nick Fuentes now is because of what he's kind of like. I think he's doing something a little different than most people are, rather than sit there and be like, okay, well, we need to be a victim and stuff like that. He's really motivating people to be, hey, you know, we don't have to be like this anymore, right? I think that's the difference, what's going on. It's just different, right? And I think people in the world are more open to learn something a little different rather than the same thing over and over again, right?
He's still a nice guy, but I think he's two-faced.
What about Candace Owens?
I agree. I think a lot of people on the internet, for sure, they're two-faced. A lot of people, like a lot of people in general, anyone who's like big, well-known, they're all two-faced. They're all two-faced people. Like, I think overall, like in terms of like for example, right, with I think with Mandani and like Trump, right, like they were like talking shit on each other, but then, you know, then they're nice to each other when they see each other, but then once they leave, they go back to hating each other. So like, I think anyone on the internet who has like a crash out against each other, like even these two, right, like I think that in a day where Pierce and Nick, they're gonna go about their days, they're gonna be civil about it, and then they'll go back to talking shit on each other. It's like with anything, really. Like that's why I don't really believe a lot of people when these social creators or influencers, whatever, they like hate each other, because I really think they don't. I think that in the day it's all for show, and you know, I think it's all for show kind of thing. But yeah, no, it's toxic trolling. Yeah, people like that can take a long walk off the short bridge because people are getting obsessed with trolls like this. Yeah, right. But yeah, no, I think overall in terms of like, I think people are just really sick of like, you know, they just want something different, and you know, I think that's a huge thing going on. But you know, overall, I think that's what's happening. That people were just sick of like being called certain things, and now, you know, I think that's what Nick Fuentes is doing, is bringing a lot of people in. I think a big part of it also is because Charlie Kirk died. Now the people who looked up to Charlie Kirk or liked him, they don't really know where to go, right? And I think that's the big thing, is like, now who are they gonna watch? Who are they gonna watch someone to debate with? They're gonna go to different avenues, right? And I think that's a huge thing, and I think that's what Nick Fuentes is doing. He's really capitalizing on that at the moment. You're telling me Kirk was like this? Oh, he definitely wasn't. Kirk was actually really, well, if you listen to a lot of stuff that Charlie Kirk said, he was actually a very, very nice guy. Like, here, let me show you some example. I can think of an example.
Sit down with her. She called you out on a few of your more incendiary comments. You've been attacking her quite virulently recently. All
right. Yep, I'm going to stop it here. That's a pretty long video, so I'm going to probably stop here for this one, and we'll do like part 3 like tomorrow, some shit like that. So I'm going to stop that recording there.